You want to sell something, you give it to someone that people respect and admire. And when they see them using it, then you're automatically going to have an audience that wants to use your service or your product. This is why you see the Michael Jordan's Nike check on the shoes. This is why you see the athletes on the cereal boxes, and the movie stars are coming out with the fragrances, cologne and perfumes. It is that brand ambassador to drive a service or a product in a level of influence. Plus, because they have the audience, now that brand is getting visibility. It is a hack in business. So with relationship capital, instant credibility, instant visibility.
America's backbone was built on blue-collar business grit, grind, and muscle. This is where you stop working for the business, and the business starts working for you.
Blue Collar Millionaires, we're glad to have you again on another week. We're going to talk about some relationship capital. This completely changed my life, Kevin. I guess about middle 30s. I'm 40. About middle 30s is when this has really started playing into my life, and I started seeing some rapid growth just in opportunity, finances, everything, when I really focused on getting in the right rooms, cultivating the right relationships. And it was the biggest fast track in my professional and personal life. What's your thoughts around relationship?
I feel exactly the same you. I was kind of dumb to it for a long time. Not necessarily relationships and other parts of things that I like, but business. I just didn't do it. I was this
Yeah.
solo guy. And I really only started developing really good ones 5 or 6 years ago. And the amount of opportunities that come from that is insane. But one thing that's the best thing when you get around people, the people you want to be, and you start developing real relationships, is their networks become your network. So it's
Yeah,
not,
I agree.
it's like it just multiplies to where you just feel like you start knowing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that guy who's a connector. We
Mhm.
know Mark Evans is probably the best example of it.
Yeah.
And guys, people listening to this know somebody. They know everybody. They're like the mayor of the town. They know everybody. If somebody can start to become that person, first in their local area and then on a bigger one, they'll just have stuff thrown at them. Like I was just telling you at lunch, somebody in the Blue Collar
Mhm.
Millionaire found this really good deal, got it under contract, roofing
Mhm.
deal, and he
Mhm.
just reached out.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows me because he went to an event, because he sees
Right.
us in the thing. We built a relationship, and he wants me to be involved in it. I mean, that doesn't happen if you're inside a vacuum.
Yeah. Relationship capital allowed you to leverage other people's experience and skills. It allows you to take their knowledge and their experience and apply it into your world so that you don't have to hit as many trials and errors. You can leverage their skills and experience. You can leverage their relationships and their resources and their connections as well. So I just recently needed someone that was specialized in Facebook ads for my business. And so I reached out to my network in one of these communities on Facebook that I've been a part of for, I guess, about 3 years now. And instantly I got feedback. And within 48 hours, I had my guy. Did the call and ended up hiring the guy on the spot. And he was exactly what I was looking for. And he came from a trusted source because I'd built this relationship. And the guy that gave me that referral already knew what I had going on in business. We've hung out, we've lifted weights together in the morning time before the events that we show up at. We've had funny phone calls, we've had drinks together, we've laughed at 1 a.m. in the morning when we've been on these events. Like, we built this relationship over time. So I didn't have to wonder, is this a credible source? He's used him, and I immediately knew that he had my best interest when he gave me the referral. So, I mean, leverage is probably one of the biggest key words pushed inside of relationship capital that I can think of that you benefit from. And it kicks in the law of reciprocity when you're building that communication with that person. We were talking about the deal that someone had posted on making $3 million in a matter of 7 days. And it was because of his prior relationship. They had done some smaller deals together. They built up the trust. And when he needed that bailout, this guy was able to call on a favor, and both had a really big win on the back end from this favor called in. But he didn't stop cultivating the relationship after the first transaction he had with the guy. And a lot of us get so busy in life that we do move on and we forget to keep cultivating it. one of the easiest ways is most business owners work off of some kind of calendar. Put it in your Google Calendar, and then their birthday, when it pops up, you sit there and you send them a video saying
Mhm.
happy birthday. And if you're not comfortable on the video, send them a text message, but you will stand out if you send a video. Mark Evans DM does this to
Yeah.
all the people that's in his network. And I remember the first time getting that, and it was so unique. I don't remember anybody else's text message, their Facebook comment on my post, the pictures that they put, or anything. But I still remember to this day the video that he sent me. Said, "Hey, Chris, just thinking about you. Hope you have a fantastic birthday. I love watching you win in life. Let's keep winning."
It's authentic too.
Mm-hmm.
He's not just doing it. That works so well. You've done that and I've done that
Mm-hmm.
too.
Mm-hmm.
You see it pop up on Facebook, you put HA and it's already going to fill it out. You could just
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
But how many times now I've done it and I'm like, I'm just going to text that person or I'll send them a video. They love it. I mean, that's an easy way to do it. But we'll get into how to do it. But just look at these 4 business opportunities. Your powder coating business,
Mm-hmm. Relationship.
our
capital.
windshield business,
Mhm.
my roofing business with Sean
Yep.
Stipa, and even Blue Collar Millionaire, which is a business.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're all based off relationships. None of them happen otherwise. It wasn't one person in a room like, hey, I'm going to just do this. That's how my other businesses were.
Yeah.
Now they're all, oh, because I know this person, I'm involved in this. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in it. It would never come across my desk.
So I love the story of Blue Collar Millionaire, since that's what this podcast is and the Facebook community and all of this brand. This came about because you had a dream about being able to help others. And I went to a mastermind, a virtual mastermind. On that virtual mastermind, a particular person was one of the keynote speakers on it. He offers a jet experience, and it's 11 people hopping on this jet. Ridiculous amount of money for me at that point. I'm like, I don't hire private jets. And I was still, I mean, this was a few years ago. I was still on my way up. Lots happened in the last 4 or 5 years. And so I went ahead and decided to make that investment to get on the plane with other people that were willing to pay $10,000 to get on this plane. So I get on the plane. Nothing happened. No $1 million deal came out of it in that moment. Nothing was struck on the plane. I go through that experience. Then I see the same guy offer a mastermind and open up a mastermind for members to join. I join it immediately because, again, I was still like, I got to stay around these type of people. These people are moving. They're pushing their environments, trying to make it produce. Then you reach out to the same individual and said, hey, I got this idea, this vision, but I really want to do it with someone else. And then the guy mentions my name.
Yeah.
So the question is it the virtual event that I joined, that I bought to learn a skill set? Was it the fact that I started following that keynote speaker on social media? Was it the fact that I paid $10,000 to get on the plane? Was it the fact that I joined
all those
this?
things.
It was all of it.
Yeah.
It was a domino effect, a compounding effect. It's because I was building relationship capital with this guy in this community, because birds of a feather flock together. And the circles are really not that big. The players, they kind of hang out in the same circles when you start playing.
Well, and the other part of that is, it was a little bit unique because I said to him when I was doing it, he was like, yeah. And I said, but I don't really want to be on camera. I'm not going to do a podcast by myself. So I need this guy to actually be blue collar,
Yeah.
be successful, and then be good on camera and have this thing. I was thinking that was going to be really hard.
Yeah.
That's just my experience. And he was like, do you know Chris Garrison? I'm like,
Yeah.
I seen him. And then he was like, yeah, he's da-da-da. And then we connected, and that was the last conversation. You were like, yeah, I'll do it. And
3 years later,
it's
215,000 members, 40 plus entrepreneurs in Boardroom Elite, doing dinners, doing masterminds at private resorts and whatnot.
And where are we going this week? We're going to his mastermind down in Orlando.
Down in Orlando.
I mean, it's
building, continuing that relationship capital. And it's not just with Mark, the guy we're talking about, but also all the other people inside.
there's a
Like
ton
the
of-
guy that you might be doing a business with. He's in that
there.
mastermind. He'll be there.
The guy I bought, Sean, built the roofing business. He's in there. We bought Matt and Mike to Nashville to the thing. Like, it just keeps going. It's just the group gets stronger and stronger, and then everybody's helping each other.
When you go to these events, you get to see how people respond in daily life as well. Like, are they drunks? When they go to these parties, they're getting so wasted, they're puking outside and can't handle themselves? Or do they have some control and discipline? And when they're at the restaurant, is their attitude disrespectful to the wait staff if something's not just 100%? Or do they have patience and understanding? Like, all of these characteristics are going to matter if you do business with them.
I mean, we're talking about relationships, but let's take a lot of the relationships, it's opportunity because these people have money.
Mhm.
Prior to this, if you said to yourself 10 years ago, I said, Chris, who can you call on your phone right now who will answer that has $1 million sitting in a bank account?
I got several.
Yeah. If you told me that 10 years ago, I'd be like, "Well, no
No,
one,
nobody.
no one.
Nobody.
There's no one."
Yeah.
I might even think 100. I'd say I know some people with 100 grand, but then maybe I don't even know if they're going to answer. I don't know.
Right.
I know some people got a lot of debt. They'll answer.
Yeah,
They'll
absolutely.
be like, "What's up? What are you doing?
Yeah.
You want to go get beers?"
Yeah.
So how do you meet these people? Because that's what everybody always asks. Here's the mistake people make. They say they don't want to invest in themselves. So look at this. It's not about our events, but everybody who comes to this dinner tonight, they're paying $1,000. Before you meet them, do you have a higher feeling on them or the same? Always
100%.
do,
Yeah.
right? And everybody who goes to that dinner knows they did it, so they know they did it. So it's already everybody elevated. They're going to make more effort because they're already verified. First of all, we verify them. We're talking to them.
Mhm.
We know they're in business. We know they're in this area, and that's a barrier because a lot of people are like, man, oh man, I'll go get my own dinner. Okay, that's not the group for you. These masterminds, the one I'm in is $50,000 a year,
Yeah.
right? Everybody in there, it's a lot of money, right?
Right.
How many times did you go to and I'm not saying B&I, there's well, there you pay to get in that. There's
Yeah.
can be some free ones, but I went to free stuff 20 years ago. It's always people looking for deals, looking for money, no consistency. You never see the same people. I never really made any good. I wasted so much time on those things.
Well, I think what happens, there's a mentality shift, and the ones that are willing to pay to get into the room, it's not what you're getting in the room. It is what you're getting in the room, but it's also what you're keeping out of the room. You're keeping all the tire kickers out of the room. If you're paying $50,000 to be in a group for 1 year of individuals, you know everybody in there is very serious
Yep.
about their time and their effort. So the benchmark, the resistance was set at a level to make sure only certain individuals get in there. And it's those individuals that believe in themselves and in their efforts and in their time, because you're betting on yourself when you drop 50 G's to be able to get into a group that it's going to pay off and give you a return on investment.
And that's a unique group, right? There's really
Mm-hmm.
high level. You can do one that's $1,000 a month. You could do it could be a paid anything. It's just there's going to be a barrier. You want there to be a barrier. It gets
Absolutely.
rid of tire kickers. If everything's free, everybody's seen it. Like people, hey, there's a free webinar. First of all, it's not free. They're going to sell you at the end of
Right.
it. They're
Right.
not wasting their time. Russell Brunson or anything.
Yeah.
They don't even come on. It's taped.
Yeah.
Right. But even then, people don't go because they don't value it. They didn't
Agreed.
pay it. But if somebody's paying it and they do calls every Tuesday and they have a thing in Orlando, they're going to that.
Absolutely. And here's the other thing that you're going to get with relationship capital. You get instant credibility. You get visibility and credibility. So the fact that Mark, that going back to the story, he was the one that was the keynote speaker, the jet
Mhm.
experience, the mastermind. The fact that Mark was on this training video that Tim Brotz hosted for buying commercial real estate that I had paid to be a part of, he had credibility with me. Mark did. I didn't know Mark. It's my first time to ever meet him.
Same thing.
But I had trust that Mark was credible because Tim brought Mark on, and Tim had a level of trust with me. And then everybody that associated with Mark, I had a level of trust with because Mark allowed them in his circle of influence. And not only that, I would have never have known Mark if he had not gotten on Tim's virtual stage as a keynote speaker in this
Yeah.
training. So you get visibility and credibility. And this is a lot of times we miss this as a marketing option to sidetrack just for a second by having brand ambassadors. You want to sell something, you give it to someone that people respect and admire. And when they see them using it, then you're automatically going to have an audience that wants to use your service or your product. This is why you see the Michael Jordan's Nike check on the shoes. This is why you see the athletes on the cereal boxes, and the movie stars are coming out with the fragrances, cologne and perfumes. It is that brand ambassador to drive a service or a product in a level of influence. Plus, because they have the audience, now that brand is getting visibility. It is a hack in business. So with relationship capital, instant credibility, instant visibility. I don't know why I always think about the nightclub scenes in movies, and the friend is hanging out with the one and they got the connection. And so the friend gets into this private nightclub because they had the connection with the bouncer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing. You get doors open that you normally wouldn't get open when you're hanging out with the right people, with the group that you want to be most like.
And to finish it up, just like all these high level people, when they connect me with people, they're equally as high level.
Yep.
Can make me Mike Gaines, fractional CFO, or you're talking to this
Yep.
lawyer, and they wouldn't connect you if they didn't already believe on them. But they're also not going to connect you if they don't believe in you, if you're not connected to them. I don't do that. I get sometimes 40 messages in
Yeah.
a week, and I can't just say, hey, talk to this guy. I can't do it. But if somebody's shown me they've been at a dinner, they're on our elite thing, I've talked to them, I like them, I'll say, hey, let me connect you to this person. But because everybody can understand the other side. You ever have a friend who you might have liked him, but he was kind of not doing so great in
Yep.
life and everything? When he brings his buddy, he usually brings somebody a level.
Lower.
It's no different than
Yeah.
employees. When you have this superstar, when they bring someone, they're always a superstar. They're not going to bring somebody who's going to look at their phone.
That's right.
But if you got a guy who's late all the time and he's like, yeah, I want to bring my buddy, I'm going to bring my roommate.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Your executive assistant, we were having a conversation and she
She's-
said, I got someone. She said, I'm just waiting. I'm a little hesitant. I got to make sure that this is going to be the right fit for you before I introduce you. And that lets you know how high level people think. They are not going to
Yes.
blemish their
Doing
name
it.
by handing something over because they're the ones that's making the connection.
Yes.
You want it to represent you well when you make a
She
connection.
respects the relationship she
Mhm.
has with you, and she wants to make
Mhm.
sure it
Yeah.
improves,
Yes.
not go down. And then she articulated that perfectly. Why?
Yeah.
And then you accepted it, and then you
Yep.
took that risk off her.
Yep.
Say, yeah, I like that actually. Do it.
Mhm.
This is relationship capital. If you look at your phone right now and you say, there's nobody that could send me $100,000 if I really needed it for a great opportunity,
Yep.
or somebody that isn't connecting me to other high level people, or people that just are very impressive, that's okay. I felt like that.
Mhm.
Then you got to start figuring out how to do that. How do I get around that?
You got to get in the right rooms. You got to
This is
start
exactly
paying
what I thought.
to get in the right rooms.
Right.
These people are paying to have exclusivity to those type people.
Right. People who are super successful, people like, if you know so much, why somebody doing a course? I agree with that. If somebody's making millions of dollars and where you want to be, they're not just going to let you pick their brain for 45 minutes. And it's not because they're not helpful. It's just that they don't know you. They don't know if they want to spend 45 minutes telling you a bunch of stuff you don't do.
That's
So-
really the key.
But it's not, if I call them up and they'll give them $500 to help. If they see you at these places, they get to meet you like, okay, clearly this person's doing it. And now they're at a dinner. Now they're at this mastermind. Yeah, they're going to make a lot more effort.
And here's the free. Hop on the podcast, read their books.
Yep.
They're giving you the knowledge. They don't have the knowledge. We have people that ask
You-
us all the time, can I get a one-on-one? I'm like, man, I just don't have time. Like, I'm operating businesses. I'm doing the coaching thing in a one-to-many aspect. I would love to. I don't have the time. And if I had the time, you couldn't afford it because it would have to be so expensive because it would be taking away from my other money revenue streams because I wouldn't have the time to apply there then.
You can improve your network even on Facebook. Start following people that you admire and you like what they're doing and comment on their stuff and write a good comment. Chris, are there anybody in Blue Collar Millionaire that you don't know, you've never spoken to, but you know who they are? Because
Oh, yeah.
there's several of them.
Because they comment, they let us know they're there. They support our efforts.
And some of them will message me on something. I'm like, yeah, he's making effort. So I make effort back to him.
Agreed.
That's how it goes.
Relationship capital, best capital you can have.
Cannot lose.
It is the most valuable capital you can have. Like, if I got stripped from everything, I would ask you to please leave my relationships intact because I know I would make back everything much faster and better because of the relationships. I could leverage that relationship capital. If y'all want more, bluecollarmillionaire.net, bluecollarmillionaire.net. It's got all of our resources, plug into our community. Let's grow together. We're just about trying to share what's worked for us and our businesses actively that we own and operate. And we want to see everybody win. There's no reason you should work your fingers to the bone.